as I said, we're looking at what it looks like, wisdom towards the young and towards the older amongst us. So we're going to be in Ecclesiastes 11 through chapter 12, verse 8. I'm going to go ahead and read that. It's not too long. You can read along with me on the screen behind me, or you can pick up a Bible on your table. Ecclesiastes, more or less, about halfway through the whole Bible. There's a link at the bottom of your bulletin, as always, so you can follow along with me as we read. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 1. Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you know not what disaster may happen on earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they empty themselves on the earth. And if a tree falls to the south or to the north, in a place where the tree falls, there it will lie. He who observes the wind will not sow. He who regards the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child, so you do not know the work of God, who makes everything. In the morning sow your seed, and at evening withhold not your hand, for you do not know which will prosper, this or that, or whether both alike will be good. Light is sweet, and it's pleasant for the eyes to see the sun. So if a person lives many years, let him rejoice in them all. But let him remember that the days of darkness will be many. All that comes is vanity. Rejoice, O young man, in your youth, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. But know that for all these things, God will bring you into judgment. Remove vexation from your heart, put away pain from your body, for youth and the dawn of life are vanity. Remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come, and the years draw near, of which you will say, I have no pleasure in them. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars are darkened, and the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house tremble, and the strong men are bent, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those who look through windows are dimmed. And the doors of the streets are shut, and the sound of the grinding is low, and one rises at the sound of a bird, and all the daughters of song are brought low. They are afraid also of what is high, and terrors are in the way. The almond tree blossoms, the grasshopper drags itself along. Desire fails, because man is going to his eternal home, and mourners go about the streets. Before the silver cord is snapped and the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, and the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher, all is vanity. This is the word of the Lord. Well, I had a great time last Sunday at our annual Oscar party. I think it's always a fun time. Had lots of new people that aren't necessarily a part of our regular church community. We had some great, we had Thai food, and then people brought a lot of desserts out there. I had too much cheesecake, which is a very normal thing anytime there's cheesecake. But we had fun. It was great people, fun time playing Oscar bingo. I love that when something goes on the screen that we all kind of have there, there's like yelling and cheering on, yes, they mentioned their child by name during an acceptance speech. So hopefully if you were able to join us, you had a good time too. If you weren't able to join us, hopefully you'll come next year. It's a good time. We're talking about how can we improve the bingo party. Not like we're having lots of conversations about this because relative importance is not that high, but we're like, oh, how can we do, maybe we should have a grand prize for the most squares filled instead of just who gets bingo. So we had a great time. But one thing related to the show we watched last Sunday as we embark on this discussion today about youth and old age is we got to see some of the cultural values on display that our society holds on the topic of kind of youth and old age. Here's an image, for instance, of Julia Roberts presenting the final award of the night for Best Picture last Sunday. Do you know how old Julia Roberts is? She's 51. Exactly. Wow is the correct response to that. I can remember, my mom is now older. She's in her mid-60s, but I can still remember what my mother looks like. She may be watching online right now. At 51, she did not look like Julia Roberts up there. I love my mom to death. She's a beautiful woman, but there are so many things that can happen at 51, and Julia Roberts looks very different than the average woman, I would say. It is one thing, one of the jokes we said as people mentioned that throughout the show is money can do wonderful things for your appearance at different times. I have no idea how much, if any, work Julia Roberts has had done. But the fact that she can look that great at 51 and look so young compared to her real age is that, we probably think she's probably had some work done at some point. It shows as a greater display of what our culture values, that we really have a strong value. Why would a woman at that age want to look 20 years younger? Well, it's because we are told over and over in many ways, youth is better. To look younger is better. We lament getting older many times, right? Wrinkles are worse. We try to hide wrinkles. We try to get special expensive creams to get rid of the wrinkles. We inject things into our face to help get rid of the wrinkles. Wrinkles means your time is almost up. Youth means your life is still ahead of you. You have lots of opportunities to make foolish decisions and to live it up, and you don't have to settle down yet. Of course, within kind of that view of youth and old age is our appearance, as we're talking about with Miss Roberts here. The pressure to look great, to look young, to look beautiful, to look perfect is always upon us nowadays. And it's especially strongly upon women. People learn at a young age, the younger you look, the prettier you are, the better you look, often the better people will treat you, the more attention you will get, especially from the opposite sex. And all of this is heightened in a city like Los Angeles. We are a pretty city, not just the city itself and our weather, but in our appearance. We, more than a lot of other places, value our appearance. And you guys know plastic surgery is as abundant as the sunshine in our wonderful city. Nowadays, that reality and that pressure on us is more prevalent than ever because the access to those images can be right in our hand. Instagram gives us a view every day of how great people look and how much better they look than the rest of us, right? Have you ever seen the folks that have, this might, depending if you are on Instagram or not, but the folks that have something like a picture and then the caption says, "Just out for a stroll, getting coffee this morning." And it's a professional photograph taken from someone other than themselves next to the coffee shop, and they look perfect. The lighting is perfect. Their hair is perfect. The spacing between other objects is perfect. The pressure to look great, to look young, to look relevant is always upon us. I go, you didn't take that. That's not your picture. You had some PR person walk out with you, get the perfect shot. Don't tell me, just out for a stroll, getting coffee this morning. You're making a perfect image. Image is important for us, and looking good, looking perfect, looking shiny is ever present in our hands, more so than ever. In contrast to kind of all those values that we just naturally take in and messages we naturally hear, God often communicates a different story when it comes to youth and old age. The writer of Ecclesiastes today will call us to get our eyes off of our youthful appearance, of comparing ourselves to others in our Instagram feeds, to get us away from fearing aging, fearing gray hair, getting old, and he will tell us where to put our true focus. For we are not God, and we do not know what is next. Here's the key takeaway this morning for us. And you may be in here and you're not yet a follower of Jesus. So this would be something that if you're exploring who he is and what life is about, could be something that is true of you. But our key takeaway this morning is, for the follower of Jesus, old age is not to be feared or avoided. The young are called to take action as they remember the brevity of life. The old are called to take action as they pass on to the next. Let's see how the author unfolds that for us here. So the author at this point in chapter 11 of Ecclesiastes, if you've been here through much of the series, you've kind of seen what he's done up to this point. He's rounding out the message of his book and kind of bringing it to a climax and a conclusion. Next week, we'll see kind of the epilogue of the book and the example that he lays out for us there. But that's where we will be today and a week from today. Much of the book up to this point has shown us, laid out wisdom of what life is like often under the sun. If you've been here during that series, you've heard this series, you've heard that repeated again and again. Under the sun is a euphemistic way to say life essentially without God in view, life without faith in him and his promises and his goodness. It is just reality without God in the world, without the eternal perspective which he alone can bring. And he's laid out, it's not a pretty picture, life under the sun, without him. At times, the author has popped in with statements on the difference that God makes, occasionally the difference that faith in him makes, in contrast to the terrible prospect of living only under the sun. In these final two chapters, though, the preacher, as he calls himself in different parts, is mainly focused on the more positive aspects and encouragements in light of all else that he has written about under the sun. And what he gives here in this chapter is a call to action, a call for how to live life, a call to live in light of the reality of life and knowing God if you're a follower of him. He begins here with what we'll see as an encouragement to those who are primarily younger. So starting in verse 1 of chapter 11, he says this. He says, cast your bread. A lot of this language is hard to understand, so I had to spend a lot of time in some commentaries to figure out what is going on here. He says, cast your bread upon the waters. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8. Bread for ancient Israelites around this time that the author was writing represented daily life, represented your livelihood, represented your way of living. Verse 2 is perhaps a reference to generosity. People feel hospitality, of using what you have to do good and to serve others and be hospitable with your life. It's a reference probably to being generous, not keeping things to yourself. So it sounds like what he is affirming here is live in obedience to love your neighbor and not hoard from your neighbor. Up to this point, the preacher has written a lot about the hardness of life, the injustice of life, the tragedy, the mundane reality of life. He says, your response to all that I've written up to this point beforehand should not be to hoard your things that you have and to go sit in a corner scared to do anything in your life because you go, oh, all the stuff he wrote about vanity of vanities, all is vanity, my life is meaningless. I'm just going to go take what I got, sit in the corner and do nothing. He says that should not be your response to what I've said before. Rather, he essentially says, go invest your life. Give to the needy. Go serve those who are in your midst and who God has put you amongst. Do not be paralyzed by the unknowns of life. Go have children if you are able and desire to. Don't be afraid of all the what ifs about parenting and money and investment. All sorts of things are coming out now, different stories now about, well, kids cost this much, like $40,000 by the time before they're 10 years old, and it's very expensive. The author of Ecclesiastes would say, stop, go live life, go have children, go trust God in light of all that he is. Live life to the fullest, he says here. Cast your bread upon the waters. Give a portion to 7 or 8. But notice the caution he gives in light of that. He says, essentially, remember the brevity of life while you live it out. See the end of verse 2. Be generous, invest your life, go live, because you know not what disaster may happen on earth. Essentially, you don't know what is going to happen in the world. You can't predict what fortunes or what tragedies will come to you. Therefore, go invest, go live, go seek to do good. But while you do it, remember the preciousness of life. Remember the brevity of life. The author uses a few phrases to kind of nail down what he is saying here. The encouragement to live life to the fullest in your youth. Do not be afraid of what comes, but to do it with wisdom, with prudence, if you will. Look at what he says in verse 5. He says, you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child. So you do not know the work of God who makes everything. This is an amazing encouragement for him to give, and especially a unique way to say it. We don't know how God works in our world, essentially, the author of Ecclesiastes says. We don't understand all his mysteries, right? How many of us, every single one of us, whether you have been a follower of Jesus for decades or as much as you can remember of your entire life, whether you have come to know Jesus in a recent amount of time, whether you are here and you're still exploring who he is, all of us have questions. Why is it like this? If God is good and loving, why does this happen? And the author of Ecclesiastes says, at one level, we're always going to have those questions. We don't know every way he chooses to do things. Do you know why? Because there's only one person who does. His name is God, and it's not our job. We don't understand why life turns out one way for us and another way for other people. We don't understand why tragedy befalls one family and not another. We don't know why sometimes life seems easy for one person and extremely difficult for another. We don't understand why evil triumphs sometimes, even though God is supposedly in control. We don't know, nor can we understand, the author tells us. So his response, therefore, is stop trying to figure it all out before you live your life. Stop trying to get everything perfect in your head. Stop trying to understand everything. Now, this is not a call, I will say. Well, I am a pastor who wants to encourage reading. If you have difficult questions and doubts about faith, please explore. I could provide lots of resources, things I've read, and point you in different directions if there are significant doubts and questions that you may have. Those are significant and real, but the author of Ecclesiastes is saying, don't get so paralyzed. What God wants, who he is, what he has done through Jesus, if we fast forward from what takes place in Ecclesiastes, is very clear throughout most of Scripture and has given you plenty on how your life should look and what you should pursue as the main course of your life. So go do that, the author would tell us. And what's the illustration he uses to explain to us how we can understand everything about God? If you notice, it's a very pro-life message that he says. Again, as you do not know the way the Spirit comes to the bones in the womb of a woman with child. An amazing statement wrapped in here. Essentially, we don't understand, right? This isn't a question that science can deal with. We don't understand how an egg from a woman, sperm from a man mysteriously come together and there is new life. And not just new life, a new soul is created. A new spirit comes into being at that time. That's what the author refers to us. We don't know how that happens. Does the Spirit come in immediately at conception? Does it happen later? When do we become we? When do we officially become a person? But he says it happens in the womb. We know it all happens in the womb. An eternal being is created in the womb of a woman. And we don't understand all the questions there. Again, amazing pro-life hidden thing in there. Even in the womb, a fetus has a spirit like you and I do, has a soul like you and I do, an eternal part of them which cannot die. But just as we don't understand how two cells, one from a man, one from a woman, can come together and make an eternal new being and new life, but we still enjoy the child. And if you're a parent, we celebrate and you get ready for life as they come into the world, and all the family rejoices and our church and friends rejoice. We're doing that right now with Adam and Emily as Etta Lee is growing up now. She's several weeks old now, looking great. When a new baby comes out, the parents don't look at the child that's brand newborn and go, now hold on, I have some questions, baby. I need to know how you came to be and how you came to be a person and how exactly please lay this all out for me, child. I need to know how you are a person and if you have a spirit and when that all happened. No, the baby comes out, you receive the child with joy. Tears are coming down your face. I can speak from experience on this. You bring that child close. You hug that baby. You better feed that baby soon. You're going to lose sleep for the rest of your life. And that's what it's going to be. Now, parents are laughing at that. Like new parents who jump in to take care of their new beloved child that's just come into the world, and they don't get paralyzed by questions on how did this mysterious being come to be in my life. The author of Ecclesiastes says, young people especially, don't get paralyzed by all the difficulties of life, by all the questions of, am I making the right path? Am I making the right decision? Am I doing everything I should? If you're a follower of Jesus and you're seeking to trust him and follow him and to walk with him, you're actively engaged in the community of God in a church like ours and know others who are walking with him. You know enough about God, about his goodness, about what life is about to walk with him. So seek joy, seek to do good, seek to do justice in all that you do. That's exactly what verse 9 says, right? Verse 9, rejoice, O young man, O young woman, in your youth. Let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Walk in the ways of your heart and the sight of your eyes. Go live life fully. If you're on the younger end, which I think I still am, I'm approaching middle age here, right? So I'm on the upper younger end. Don't get caught up in every step, in every job, in every fear that you have. Go live life. Seek to obey Jesus. And in one sense, enjoy the ride as you do that. More on the rest of verse 9 in a bit, but let's turn to see what the author says about the other end of life for those of us who are older in this room. He starts off in chapter 12 in verse 1 by saying this, remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come and the years draw near, of which you will say, I have no pleasure in them, before the sun and light and the moon and stars are darkened and the clouds return after the rain. What the author goes on had to do a lot of work on this, because some of those words there sound like kind of the end of the world type thing. Sounds sort of apocalyptic in terms of the sun and moon, if you've read much of Revelation. That's not what the author is doing here. This whole 1 through 7, especially in chapter 12, is a euphemistic way of the description of what it is to get old and to get close to your years of dying. While most of the Bible, like our scripture we read today in Proverbs, describes old age in a very positive way, as a time when wisdom has been gained after years in your life, wisdom that you can pass on to others. There's all sorts of sections in Scripture, from the Old Testament, the Jewish Scriptures, to the New, when the old are told to instruct the younger and help them grow and use the wisdom that you have gained to help the younger generations. While that is mostly talked about here, this description is describing the reality of the decaying of the body, of what it's like to get old. That's what's in view, the end of life here. So, the picture of darkness and clouds bring into the reality of the fading capacity for joy as time moves on. The keepers of the house that he mentions, the strong men, are most likely a person's arms and a person's legs. And he says the strong men start to get weaker as time goes on. They start to tremble. The grinders, which cease because they are few, are probably teeth, as the author is mentioning. Your teeth have problems, the ones that grind as you get older. The windows, which are dimmed, are probably the eyes. Everyone knows as you get older. My eyes are already messed up, so I'm going to get even worse as time goes on. I can't see far away now, and then I'm going to get older, and all of a sudden, most of the time I hear it happens around 40 or so, which I'm just on the cusp of going, and then I will not be able to see closely, and then we'll have the whole bifocal action going on. Other references are to poor sleep patterns. The bird, he says, the bird wakes you up at the little tiny sound, and you can't sleep well sometimes when you are older. He mentions phrases about being afraid more of different things. You don't have the same vigor that you had when you were younger, and fearlessness potentially. And in the final verses, he mentions returning to dust, where Adam, if you look back to Genesis 1 and 2, and Eve as well, are described as being made from the dust. Here, the author of Ecclesiastes returns us, saying, at the end of life, you return to dust. Life under the sun has come to an end. But look at this little phrase, it's interesting, in the middle of verse 5. He says, all this is going on because man is going to his eternal home. A lot of times in the Old Testament, in the Jewish scriptures, eternity and what's clear in the New Testament after Jesus has come and after he's revealed reality, eternity is not always so clear. The afterlife is not always so obvious as it is more so in the New. But here we have a reference to something very interesting. When someone dies, as they get older, they're getting ready for their eternal home. This is a hint for those of you who are older in our church, where you are to fix your hope as these things happen and as your body goes through these changes. You are called to action as the young are called to action. You are called to remember your Creator, as verse 1 says. But you are much closer to the eternal home than the young are. As your body takes on new problems and things don't work as they should anymore, remember, it's because this is not your true and final home. And as your body decays and things start to break down, I already can't eat as much as I used to be able to when I was 20. I could eat anything when I was 20 and nothing would happen. And now I eat stuff and it comes out right away. I'm like, no, why is this happening? As your body starts to take on changes and gets worse, remember, this is not your final body. This is not your eternal body. It is your home in a sense, but it's a broken home. It is your body in a sense, but it's a broken body. It's life under the sun. But unlike the young, who most likely have many more years living in this brokenness, you're closer to finding your true and final and eternal home. A home without brokenness. A body without brokenness anymore. So remember, serve and live and obey God. Use the wisdom God has given you, those who are older, to teach and instruct and help those of us who are younger. We need you. We need your insight. We need the wisdom you've picked up over your life. But remember, in the frustrations of your old age, your eternal home is almost here. It's a lot closer, most likely for you, on average, than for the younger. You will soon see Jesus face to face. Struggles will be no more. Pain will be no more. You will finally see perfectly, and all the questions and confusion will become clear. Those of us who are younger will stay on struggling here, most likely for a little while longer. I want to bring you guys back to verse 9 in chapter 11 as we wrap up and close here. Look at the author's instructions again to the young. He says, "Rejoice, O young man or young woman, in your youth. Let your heart cheer you." And then at the end of the verse he says, "But know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. Young folks, old folks, because of what God has done for us, we have a call to act. We have a call to live your life. See what God has told us clearly in his word. See what Jesus has done clearly in his death and resurrection for us. Go look at the commands that we clearly have to live out that truth. Go do good. But as we live it out, as we do, remember, one day all of us will stand before the judgment seat of God. All of us will have to give an account. And that's true whether you know Jesus or whether you don't. In all you do, remember, someday we will all stand before Jesus at the judgment seat. On average, the older of us will get there sooner than the younger of us. But we will all give an account. So in your joyful living, remember what really matters. And most of all, remember what Jesus has done and let your life be oriented around that. The Apostle Paul, in his letter to the church in Thessalonica, gives a beautiful description of how the Thessalonian church was embracing this truth and was living it out. Here's what he said to them as he was trying to commend them. Verse 9 of chapter 1 of 1 Thessalonians, he says, "How you Thessalonians, you turned to God from idols to serve the living and true God." He's describing their conversion, how you first accepted Christ and first put your hope in him, and you turned away from false things to wait for his Son from heaven, who he raised from the dead, Jesus, who delivers us from the wrath to come. God will bring every injustice, every evil, every wicked thing into account one day. There will be judgment for everyone on earth, and there will be wrath for it. That is God's justice in anger towards evil that he will give to every person for what they've done. But Paul says here, if we have placed our faith in Jesus and what he has done, Jesus delivers us from that judgment. He delivers us from that wrath. He makes us innocent because Jesus took it on the cross. Fix your eyes on that, whether you are young, whether you are old. And if you haven't put your faith in Jesus, you too can escape that judgment here today, and you can live joyfully in the life that God has given us here under the sun. Let's pray. Father, thank you for the whole book of Ecclesiastes here. We are blessed to be able to look at subjects and topics that we might not normally think about. And some of them have been really difficult and not easy. Some of the hardship of life has really come into view, and we've had to talk about it and discuss it. And youth and old age are part of those realities for all of us. And the brokenness of this world and the fear of not knowing what the best step is to do and what we should do, and life is going to be hard, and what about kids, and what about what job I should have, and what if I'm getting older and things aren't working like they should. Thank you for the wisdom here that you've given us to live joyfully, to seek a life of justice and righteousness and love and service, and to not be paralyzed by the unknowns of what could come. Lord, help us to do that, especially as you instructed us through the author here today, especially for those of us who are younger. Help us to live that out. Help us to remember the brevity of life as we do that. Lord, I thank you for the wisdom towards those of us who are older, to remember that our eternal home is near, that seeing Jesus face to face will be here not long from now. Help those who are older especially to fix their hope on that, to use the gifts that they have now, the wisdom that they have now, to serve you in their unique and special way, and remind them of what's coming as the hardness of getting older becomes true. Thank you, Father, for what you've done in Jesus. Thank you that we can escape judgment because of him. Teach us, all of us, to fix our hope on